Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. EML is here for Season 4, and tonight we are going through qualifying. We are Lobby 2. I'm your host today, Lesty the Twig, and I'm joined by good colleague Ivor Mike. How are you doing, Mike?
I am doing fantastic, and yes, we are back once again for another season of EML, and a lot at stake here because, combined with Lobby 1, which of course is being ran at the exact same time, so if you guys want to hop back and forth, make sure you do show support on both streams. But what we have here is the team that comes out on top in terms of qualifying across both lobbies goes into Premier 1, and the team that comes bottom is a reserve team. They won't be in Premier 2 as a full-time team, so there's a lot riding on this for all these teams here tonight.
Yeah, indeed. There's no guarantee that you're going to be in either of the Premier divisions, so it's a lot riding on the three drivers from all respective teams. As we see our first time on the board, and it's Colin Mason with a 143.8, and that's straight away beaten by ERT Kieran. What times are we looking at here, Mike, around Spa Francorchamps?
Well, at the high end, we're probably looking at high 42s, maybe someone could sneak into the mid 42s, just judging on Kieran's time right there. But generally, I think a lot of teams will be in the mid 43s. So at the moment, it's a good banker lap from Colin, a fantastic banker lap from Kieran. Of course, we've got Chino and Evans Joshua who have set the times so far.
Indeed. Red Dragon Racing looking good so far. 2 times already on the table. That'll be a positive start. It's always good to get your times in early, I feel, here, especially with how long a lap the Spa circuit is. So you want to get a time on the board early and start chipping away at that first set time. We've got varied amount of teams here. Obviously, as Mike said, we're split into 2 lobbies for this qualifying. So you have the likes of ERT, Red Dragon Racing, VRT, 1 Racing, X Esports, and TRS. So there's about six teams. Yeah, about 6 teams in this lobby, and then obviously, as Mike said, another 6 teams or so in the other lobby. Feel free to go bounce back and forth. We have got 2 sessions going, so it's going to be Spa first, and then we'll go to the Circuit of the Americas for another 30-minute session where they will do it all over again.
Absolutely, and apologies for that. I think I might be having some internet problems. You went all laggy for me for a moment, and the lobby went laggy for me as well. So I think it's something on my end.
Feel free to go bounce back and forth.
I have an idea of where I could be, but I would need to leave the lobby and have a peek. So
okay. Yeah, I've checked the sound. Sound's coming through fine on both our ends.
yeah, I have a feeling I know what it is. I need to go to the main lobby though to sort it out. So I will have to momentarily leave the session, but I will be able to rejoin and come back in.
No worries. Do you need an invite, or have you got one already set?
If you could drop me another invite, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Right, let's do that. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for the technical difficulty. These things do happen, unfortunately, especially with this game. So let's have a look. Right, so my game is literally not showing me the friends online. That is brilliant.
You just invite players on party, innit?
I'm literally being shown no one on my in-game friends list. Is there a way I can do it from the PS menu? Let's try. You're able to rejoin, yeah? Yeah, I can't see anything at all. Alright. Yeah, apologies ladies and gentlemen for that. Yeah, it's just the game. We just have to unfortunately deal with it because EA and Codemasters don't want to. So anyway, at the moment, it's ERT Kieran still leading the way with his 1:43.096. He's by far the fastest driver on the track at the moment. Most people on softs, I saw a few people starting on hards and mediums, getting a few practice runs in, just getting familiarised with the lap, as I'm going to eat my own words. Kieran has now just been beaten by TRS Yossi, the first driver to get into the 142s. It's a 142.844. So that's a very, very good time for the TRS team. That should get them all excited. But plenty of time to go. Still 20 minutes, Mike. A lot can happen. Is there any teams here? Obviously, you are part of Red Dragon Racing. Is there any teams here you're thinking that could really push you?
Yeah, obviously, X Esports were a team that last season EML were pretty close on pace for us, and of course, in the standings last season, who are competing in the other lobby, obviously you got IRT and BNLR and CPI, so I think it'll be like a nice little battle between these same teams once again.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we had some great battles. Unfortunately, we did lose a couple of teams. I think we lost SXT and another team I think left that were really, really strong last season, and SXT eventual champions. But BNLR, yourselves as Esports World Tan, really sort of had a really good second half of the season and was right at the top end of the field. Do you feel there's any sort of chance there for Red Dragon Racing to possibly compete for that final Premier 1 spot?
I mean, never say never. You got to be in it to win it, and right now, currently 2 drivers inside the top 10 on their banker laps, so it's looking good at the moment.
It is indeed. Obviously, Evans Joshua, we know a lot about him. Very good driver, and Colin Mason as well. He had a superb season last season. Really great results. And for me, he's one of the most improved drivers I've seen of that last EML season. So all onwards and upwards, I think, for RDR.
Yep, onwards and upwards indeed. But obviously, competition here tonight very stiff and very tight as well. As looks like we're starting to get some more times coming through on the soft compound tyres, so we're starting to see the grid take a bit of form by here.
Yeah, the times are definitely starting to squeeze up together. Still a few yet to break into the 43s, but loads of time left. I can see most of the grid here getting inside. You've also got the likes of Carlsbury, Carmentalist, still not in the 43s, and I'm expecting them to go right up there. Telsbury actually having a little bit of a spin. The VRT driver in the Alfa Romeo. That lap is going to be scrapped. And he'll look to go again. One of the new teams, I believe, I may be wrong, they could be a rebrand. but one of the new teams here looking for their spot in EML. So best of luck to them and all teams tonight. I'm going to go on board with Carlsbury. I believe he is on a lap. This is a driver as well in Premier 2 last season who had some really good performances. I think Japan was one of those. Showed really strong speed. And that was under TTG, and I believe now he's under X Esports. So new team. Same sort of management and colleagues around him. Hopefully he himself and Carmentelis can put in some really good times.
Yeah, obviously Carmentelis done his previous lap on the set of the medium tyres. He's obviously switched onto the softs now, so he's going to be looking for improvements. Carlsbury was up quite considerably on the Sector 1 time, which will definitely put him into the 44s. It depends on how much he can gain for this middle sector, and he's 1.3 up, so this is looking like it could be there or thereabouts, but he's just invalidated it. And see, that's another thing that we need to bring up now, the invalidations, because see, if one driver in your team can't get a lap together, can't put a lap on the board, that really jeopardizes the team's chances of qualifying for Premier 2.
Yeah, it really is a team game, isn't it? I think if one driver just can't stick it, and as you said, get a lot of invalidations, it's really going to bring the time down. You just can't afford in either this or the next session to have that happen. You really need your drivers on their best form, pace-wise, and just within the lines, within the track lines as well. So that is a great point, and I'm sure here and most likely in that first sector of Circuit of Americas, we're going to see a fair few invalidations, I feel.
Yeah, and obviously looking at what's going on in Coda right now, because I do have the Lobby 1 stream open right next to me, so I can have a little peek back and forth. But Lobby 1, at the moment, people struggling. I mean, CPI Bundy has apparently been disqualified from the session, so don't know what's happened there with Bundy and the CPI team, but that's going to be a big hindrance here.
Yeah, that's a big blow. That's one thing you definitely don't want. I think a slow time is all good, but getting disqualified altogether that's pretty much ruined your chances. You have to hope for another team to get some sort of disqualification. So that's a shame to hear. Obviously, everyone watching, you can switch back and forth. I've seen some of you in the comments have got both lobbies going side by side. We love the commitment to EML. It's a great competition, team competition, so we really respect you all for coming and listening to our waffle, really. I'd say my waffle, because Mike, you're elite in this game.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm alright.
So we're still only with 2 drivers into the 42s. Do you think over halfway through the session, do you think we're going to see many more people get into the 42s? I think we're seeing a fair few drivers struggle to even get into the 43s at the moment.
I mean, as I said early on, like I think like the top end would be like a high 42s, and maybe getting into the mids at best. So for the likes of Kieran and Yossi, that's achievable. But obviously they got a 6 times gap. But that's David who's around us. I just flicked on board with him. He's lost it on the exit of Stavlo, I believe the name of that corner. Yes, I do know some of the corner names around this track. I know get grip right, but it is going to be very intriguing to see if anyone can get into the 42s. But I mean, I did say most of the times would be around the 43s, and most of the times right now, looking like around best are going to be in the 43s.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much movement in the leaderboard at the moment. I'm not seeing anyone make massive gains. I think most drivers are struggling here to either keep it within the lines or to just be able to find that little bit of time. I'm on board with VRT Cherner at the moment. He's down on his time by a tenth and a half, so drivers struggling here. Not they'll be thinking what more can I do at this point?
Drivers definitely struggling here, and it's all going to be about who can get that one lap on the board. That's what they're looking for, just that one lap. As I believe that is Enzo up into third in the Ferrari for Trust Esports. So Enzo and Yossi right now, two of the Trust Esports lads up in first and second. That's a good showing from them. Obviously ERT having a strong showing as well. All three drivers inside the top 10.
Yeah, you can already start to see certain teams that will be thinking pretty positively at this point. TRS, obviously a new team who haven't competed in EML before, so they're looking good so far, but still a long way to go. We've got 10 minutes left of this practice session, another session to go in the Circuit of Americas, so nothing's final yet. No room, no breathing space.
None whatsoever, and we're still waiting for times to be set by Dillsborough and Trust I Zeno.
We are indeed. I'm flicking through and I'm seeing a lot of invalidations.
Yeah, a very easy track, I think, to invalidate. If you just run a little bit wide at the Pouron, you can invalidate there. Obviously, through Radion on top of the hill, very easy to pick up an invalidation there. And obviously, the corner with no name in that, the left-hander, sorry, you just get pulled out a little bit too far onto the right-hand side and just invalidate there as well. So, I'm not surprised to see quite a few invalidations out there, but I think, with just over 9 minutes to go, a lot of these guys will be able to put a lap together. And right now, I think a team that does need to get a lap on the board and get a pretty high lap as well is obviously Tima's 1, because Boya in 10th place, Lucas in 12th, and I'm guessing Molly, but it's got the X instead of an O. But down in 16th right now, and that's a 2-minute 15, so that is well off the pace.
Yeah, that is really off the pace. I did see she going quite slow around the track, maybe ran out of fuel a bit earlier. I was just on board with the X Esports lads, still only 14th and 15th best for them at the moment. Both made gains, but it's not looking too positive so far for X Esports and one team as well. And I think VRT sitting in 12th and 13th. So 3 teams that really need to make the most of these final 8 minutes here. As we're on board with no, ERT Thomas is on a cool down lap. LFR David.
He's just starting a flying lap now, Thomas is.
Okay. So I'll stick on board with David, who is 1,000th of a second up on his time. It all counts, right? Every little helps. He's coming through sector 2. Let's go on board with him. Let's see his lines. He's backed off there a fair amount. That may cost him. Let's see. Oh, that's going to cost him. David spinning out, not for the first time in this session. And he's onto the grass.
Yeah, but the good thing for David is that he does have a good lap on the board already. A 43.4. Is a very good lap. He's currently up in 4th place, and that is big for X Esports, especially with Carlsberg and Carl Mendelis down in 12th and 13th place respectively.
Have you got a different leaderboard to me? I
don't know what.
Because I have Carlsberg and Carl Mendelis in 14th and 15th.
Surely not. Surely not. We're not looking at like surely Codemasters, EA. Surely not.
Look at the stream. It says 14th and 15th for me.
I've got to see this.
This is a new low for the game.
I have to see this. I have been given an advert. They are making me watch an advert to see this.
God, this game, honestly.
Okay, so for me, on my screen, Zeno and Tails have not set a lap time yet.
Okay. God, this game really, really does hit a nerve. Right. Hopefully we can just get that sorted for the next session. But yeah, if you're hearing Mike say certain position, it might not be correct. Just keep an eye on the live stream leaderboard, guys, because I think it's the game. We got to deal with it. We're dealing with it as best we can. I'm now on board with the Mercedes of one Boya Lulu, a team you pointed out that does need to make an improvement, and Boya Lulu is their highest driver at the moment, and for me he's in 11th. Might be higher for you.
No, he's 10th. Yeah, he's 10th for me.
He's 10th for you. There we go. Oh, he's run wide there.
He's got away with it though.
Got away with it. Now if he can improve, yes, his teammates aren't doing as well. Oh, as we see Lucas actually jump up just behind him. So there's one driver from one team doing what this one name's going to confuse me. So here comes Boya Lulu coming up to the final chicane. Can he?
Chicane. Oh, a bit of a snap there, and that's cost him.
That has cost him. CPI Bunty, which teams haven't set a lap? Unfortunately, all teams for you have set a lap, Bunty. We did hear about your disqualification, so I know you're looking for someone to maybe just bin it or something, but keep those fingers crossed out, because at the moment that's not going to be happening in this session. I'm on board with Aero Specialist. He's apparently 3 seconds down.
Yeah, I think he's on a cooldown lap.
He is on a cooldown lap. That's my mistake.
But currently, as it stands, it looks like team has won in this lobby. It's currently at the back of the pack and on that bubble, I should say, with regards of not qualifying for Premier 2.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be thinking America now has got to be a good performance. And they've got to also hope for a bad performance from another team near around them. So they'll be looking at VRT maybe, although VRT does have Cherno up in 7th place, so he'll be pulling their time up slightly, but also X Esports are down there, so it's between X and 1 in this lobby. We don't know what's going on in the other lobby. Mike might be able to give us an update. Do you still have that stream up, Mike?
I'm about to get it up. Oh, I got another advert.
Another advert. We'll keep everyone waiting. to see what's happening at the back end of that one. But here it's X Esports and One who need to make the most of their final runs here. As you see, pretty much everyone is now out on the circuit looking to make that last ditch improvement.
Well, an update from Lobby 1. Obviously, they got around about 2.5 minutes to go in their session, and it's looking like CPI are at the bottom, but BNLR are not safe ahead of them.
Oof. That's a surprise for me, considering how well they done in EML Premier 2 last season.
And
it's a big surprise.
I'm just going to put out there, as Zeno there goes on pole,
Wow.
and that means that I have a driver that has taken the correct spot, I believe. Is he taking it on your screen as well?
He has taken the top spot, yep.
Okay, so it's just Tails for me is out of place at the moment. But the one thing I will say is that one Molly did improve on his lap time, and that is crucial because he's right on the back of Aero Specialist, and obviously that's good because that gives him an opportunity with RDR. Of course, Colin and Evans Joshua are ahead of the other two drivers, and Aero Specialist being ahead of Molly. They are a bit behind, but there is opportunity there.
There is indeed, yeah. There's a bit of a chance. As Evans Joshua, is he retired in the pits? He has indeed.
Yeah, he has.
Let's go to who's furthest forward here. Colin's going to be the first one to finish up on his session on track. Can he give the RDR team one last boost? He's coming up to the line. It's going to be tight. 43.8.
Oh, he does
just a tenth up, and that's RDR.
Nipro's off as well, so no improvement for Nipro. What else we got? We got David, who invalidated on his lap time, but his time is good enough to kind of drag X Esports up the order a bit.
It is indeed. Tails coming up to the line. You might see him on your leaderboard now, up to P7. Yay. That's big. It's big for VRT.
He's gone up to P7 for me as well.
Yes. As David crashes out on the line. And there's a couple more people coming up towards the line. ERT Thomas. Can he make a last ditch improvement? He can. That's P2. 42.8 for the ERT driver as Kieran stays fourth.
Carsbury 610 sap. This could be big for X Esports here.
Oh, it's the TRS boys. TRS boys are helping each other. Enzo giving Yossi a good old slipstream. That gets him P1. Nice Carsbury.
And Carsbury up into 7th.
Wow, that's big.
That kind of puts X Esports out of trouble. Currently, just looking at the grid from what I'm seeing, potentially it could be a bit of a scrap between Teamers 1, Victus Racing Team, and Red Dragon Racing.
Yep. There we have it. That is the first session over, and it's TRS Yossi on top. Great session, I have to say, there for the ERT and TRS gang. They'll be feeling nice and comfortable going into this next session. A bit of pressure off their backs, but then again, if you're up the top doing that well, there's a chance here that they could get the Premier 1 spot. And then down towards the bottom respectively is indeed one team. X-Car Mentalist also down there for X Esports, and one of the VRT drivers, Also, as you said, Mike, the RDR, driver of aero specialist. So there's a few down there, but if they're listening in to the stream, as we have had one Lucas leave the session, not sure why he's done that, but if they are listening into the stream, they will know that CPI have had a DSQ in the other lobby, and that will give them a small bit of confidence going into the Circuit of America's session.
Yeah, as long as they get a lap on the board, like they're guaranteed to be ahead of CPI as long as they get a lap on the board.
Right, lovely. Everyone is retiring. Perfect. Everyone's got the memo.
One does not.
One does not. Oh, there we go. Lovely. Lovely stuff. Thank you everyone for joining the stream. Please stick with us. There is another practice lobby coming, 30-minute session at the Circuit of Americas, so don't go anywhere. If you're watching the stream, please like the stream. That supports us here at EML. Also subscribe to the League Racing TV channel. Also supports us and a bunch of other leagues who are broadcasted here at League Racing TV. And get your comments in. Let us know some predictions. Who do you think is going to be up there? Who's going to miss out on Premier 2? We just want to know it. We just want to know everything. Just pile it on us, and we'll read them out for you.
Yeah, I'm just giving our fellow commentator James had a nice little nugget of information. They're just giving him the average of what the lap times we were seeing in Lobby 2, and of course the quickest guys at the top are doing. So, sharing a bit of the wealth. Obviously, I have Lobby 1 stream open, so I can bring the action through, but it's good to give that information back as everyone retiring from the session quick as they can.
Yeah, I think we've lost. I don't know if you can see. I think one Lucas and one Molly, or whatever the name is, has actually left the session.
Yes, they've left the session, so hopefully the other teammate is still in the lobby that can send them another invite to rejoin. But yeah, they weren't supposed to leave the session, but he was just supposed to retire.
Well, let's hope for their sake they can get in, because it could be detrimental if one of them don't show up for the next one.
Yeah, and it could be a saving grace for CPI if one of them doesn't show up.
Could be small hope for them. But while we get loaded up, don't know about you, Mike, but I think I'm just going to have a quick drinks break, refresh the throat, get ready for this next session in Circuit of Americas. Are you staying around, Mike?
Yes, I'll stay around and
Okay.
I'll entertain the stream. Let me get the lobby 2 stream open so I can see the chat and
Awesome. Yeah, get in some rubbish. Just post some rubbish in the chat. Some unpopular opinions. Get them in for Mike. He'll keep you entertained. I'm just gonna have a quick drinks break. See you back in a minute.
Yep, no worries. Unpopular opinions. John, guys, lay them on me. What's these unpopular opinions? The worst unpopular opinion I've heard today is apparently Manchester United are in the Premier League title fight. That's the worst opinion I've heard today. Right, well, Newcastle United are top 14. I mean, they're in the top 4. Whether they'll remain a top 4 team or not for the rest of the season remains to be seen. But you know, they're giving themselves a good chance. But looks like we aren't going to have any popular opinions. But what we will do is go into this as well. In Dakota, which is going to be incredibly difficult for all these drivers because it is a nightmare. No assists, blind corners, blind apexes, invalidations left, right and centre. But as long as you get a time on the board, you're golden. You're golden. Doesn't even have to be an absolute on the limit lap time. Like, as long as you just get a nice little banker in, you're golden. That's all you need to do. As we got support for TRS in the chat, and of course TRS had a great Belgium as Leslie has returned and has joined the realm of the commentators once again. And now, would you like to explain your unpopular opinion of Newcastle United being the top 14?
Well, what was your view on that said opinion?
I back it.
You back it? Yeah, I think it's a thing now. I think we're gonna see Newcastle in that top 4 for the seasons to come. So maybe it's not as an unpopular opinion as I thought. Maybe it's popular. Hooky seems to back it as well. I'll try and think of another one. Anyway, we are here in the Circuit of Americas for the second qualifying session. Another testing track with the limits, as we were saying not too long ago. Sector 1, I believe, is definitely one of those, and I think the last 2 turns as well is where we're going to see people caught out on these track limits, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, I'm just going to quickly have a little look at the teams from Lobby 1 and the times that they set. Obviously, we know about Bundy getting disqualified, but his teammates didn't do a huge amount better. CPI Leighton did a 34.6 and Florian did a 35.4. So, like, CPI could be in some real trouble here.
They could indeed, not just on the track. I've been seeing on their socials as well, a number of management have left recently, which I hope isn't a downhill spiral for them. The community, I don't think, needs to lose a team that has been around for quite some time. So let's hope that doesn't happen. And best of luck to them for their second session. Although it's, as you said, looking to be quite the uphill challenge.
Honestly, I think one thing that could aid CPI here is if either Red Dragon Racing or Team as one, if one of their drivers are unable to get a lap on the board, that would really give CPI a big boost and give them a chance of getting through.
Yeah, I think everyone's just got to... If everyone has been listening in, if they've had their engineers, their Jeffs, or management speaking to them between runs, the message is clear. Just get a time on the board, and then you're in. You're guaranteed then Premier 2, aren't you? So that would be my message if I was managing some of these drivers here. As the first time is going to come from VRT Cherno. It's a 1:34 5.2. Mike, what times are we looking for at the Circuit of Americas?
I believe I said before the session started, we're looking at 33s, possibly someone getting a low 33 in terms of just getting a absolute belter of a lap on the board. But most of the times I think we'll be in the 34s.
Okay. So let's keep an eye out. We're already, yes, low 34s, so you can definitely see some 33s coming for sure. Do you think the lobby's going to go the same sort of way that we saw in Spa? Do you think we're going to see the likes of ERT, TRS at the front and 1 at the back? Do you think it's going to sort of stay with that pattern, or?
I mean, here's the thing. Like, Coda for me is a much more difficult track to navigate and get through. So I wouldn't be surprised if teams put a lot of hours and a lot of practice into Coda over Spa. Because Spa relatively hasn't really breaking points, turning points, and that hasn't really changed too much over the past couple of games. So it's relatively easy to pick up and know roughly where everything is with Spa, but with Coda, you really do need to get yourself dialed into that track. So practice would have definitely paid off for those who put in a good amount of practice. And of course, we have got lap times on the board already from all of the RDR drivers, so looks like they're going to be quite safe from CPI. But one team has won. Obviously, they're still waiting for Molly to put a lap on the board, but 24 minutes, all Molly has to do is just get a lap on the board. Doesn't even matter if it's a quick one, just make sure you got a lap on the board, get yourself through.
Exactly, you can literally just dawdle around the track and that'll be it. It'll be the easiest qualifying into Premier 2 you could have. But one Molly yet to do that, so we shall keep an eye on that. I'm on board with Carlsbury of X Esports. They have David currently in P1, so that is a really good start for them, especially with Car Mentalist respectively just behind in P4. So X Esports maybe could finish with 3 top 5 drivers if Carlsbury can pin a lap together. It won't be this one because it's invalidated, but a good start here for X Esports, don't you feel?
Yep, great start from X Esports, and honestly for them, just getting these laps on the board, getting themselves through. I don't think they're going to be challenging for Premier 1. I think for that one it might be more of a TRS ERT scrap. Looking at the Lobby 1, I was going to say Prem 1 then. QRT Max currently tops the times in Belgium in Lobby 1, and he's done a 43.1. Of course, we had a 42.8 in our session earlier, so 3 tenths off the quickest that we've done here in Lobby 2.
So currently, compared to Spa, although they probably have a fair amount of time left, we are the faster lobby. Plenty of time left though over there. Something I've noticed, TRS working together, all 3 of them. I just was spectating Xenox getting slipstream from his teammate Yossi down that long straight, working together to try and get themselves up. Unfortunately, Xenox did invalidate his time, but really working together as a team, and that's what you got to do. You got to make the most of having teammates, and normally you only have one teammate. Here you've got 2, alongside you. So it's good tactics from them. I haven't really seen any other team in this lobby do that, which surprises me a little bit. But then sometimes I feel like a lot of teams don't think about it, don't you think?
I think with a lot of teams now, they probably saving that towards the end. Now, like if they're in trouble, then they'll do it, and if they got a chance at Prem 1, then they'll do it. But obviously, TRS, they do have a chance at Prem 1 here, so they're going to be doing it from the off and trying to get a good lap on the board. There's ERT Kieran there with a 33.3, and what a lap that is. And I did say low 33s would be the top end. So I was just on board with Colin with a big snap of oversteer, and yep, he's gone around it.
Oh, yes, indeed. At least he's got the time on the board, though, so there's no worry about that. That's safe. But that is a blistering lap from Kieran. That's really blown the field open. But he's got someone join him. VRT Cherno has joined him on the 33s. 33.8 for him. So that's nice for VRT. But Kieran, what a lap. He had a great session in Spa as well. I believe he finished in the top 4 or 5. So he's really looking in good form, and what a time to be in great driving form.
Yep, as we got Evans to the line, he goes on a 35.1, gets himself ahead of Molly, who currently on a 35.2.
Oh yeah, we didn't even notice Molly has done.
Oh, his Aero Specialist just lost the back end there, and he was on target to kind of match Molly's time, so it really is looking very close between Teamers 1 and RDR here.
It's tight. It is looking really tight, actually. And TRS, all TRS drivers still yet to post a time. Plenty of time though. There's no need for anyone to start panicking. I'm sure they're just taking their time, familiarising themselves with the track, just putting a few good laps together. They might even be invalidating their laps on purpose. Not sure why, but they could be.
We got Enzo giving Yossi a slipstream. We'll see how much this helps now with this middle sector split. Is it going to be a purple middle sector? Yes, it is. 2.4 in the middle sector, and what I've noticed with this track is the curbs are lethal here. You touch them and you can lose the car, but also the back end doesn't really want to stick in the early part of the session.
No, yeah, it's a track you've really got to get your setup sorted and suited to you and the track. And Yachty does go into P1 33.2. As he's just giving him, and he's just spun actually, and reset to track. But clearly, their system of slipstreaming each other is working to good effect, so I'm sure Enzo will be getting that at some point, as Xenox has actually gone into third with a 33.6. So TRS and ERT both now getting towards the top as Enzo actually invalidates. Nipro is on his outlap for ERT, so we'll wait for those two to get their laps on the board and we can compare team versus team, because in this lobby it's looking between ERT and TRS competing for that Premier 1 spot. Obviously the other lobby we're not too sure about.
QRT I think are the closest ones.
QRT, okay.
Yeah, the QRT currently first, second, and fourth in lobby 1. So they're definitely the ones to put the challenge into TRS and ERT. The question is though, can they get into the 42s? Because right now they're doing low 43s, and it's not good enough.
No, that isn't good enough. We had, I believe, we had 2 42s in our session. Is that correct?
I think we had 3.
Oh, we had 3. We had 3.
3.8s and a 0.9, didn't we?
And I believe 2 of those must have been TRS drivers. I believe 2 of their drivers finished in the top 3. So yeah, QRT would have to get those times down. How long have they got in that lobby?
They have around about 15 minutes, same as us.
15 minutes, okay. And hello QRT if you're watching. They definitely could be watching, as a lot of teams will be keeping an eye on the other lobbies to sort of try and estimate where they're going to be placing themselves. Obviously, the faster you qualify as well in Premier 2, the higher you qualify, is a better word to use, gives you the earlier car pick. Some teams might not care about that, but others do, so an added little bonus for them. I'm on board with ex-car mentalist, who looked to try and get a bit of a toe off of one of the Haas drivers that aren't his teammates, and he is a 10th up, sorry, on his time. So he's going to be looking at pushing Tails and TRS Enzo. It's coming up to this crucial final couple of corners. Oh, he needs. Oh yeah, he's not hit the apex there at all, and that's going to cost him. Oh, and that's not going to help. The back end slipping out as well, but he still actually manages to jump above both of those and his teammate David. Actually, David has just jumped himself up into P4 with a 33.7. So we have 6 drivers here in the 33s. It's looking like a fast one, Mike.
Yes, it is, and obviously looking at what's going on in lobby 1, it is definitely looking like a QRT versus TRS. In fact, I'm going to quickly go back and have a look and see what the quota times were.
Okay, while you do that, hello everyone in the chat, thanks for joining us. Got a comment from Niels. Which team is LFR David? Yes,
Esports.
he is ex-esports. Gamertag PSN hasn't changed, so that is a ex-team, that LFR, so he is part of ex-esports along with Car Mentalist and Carlsbury. Let's go on board with one of your drivers, Aero Specialist.
Well, just to give you a quick update with the QRT's performance here in COTA. This is good information enough for TRS as well, if anyone is listening from TRS. The QRT guys did a 33 flat, 33.1 and a 33.2 around here.
Wow.
So right now, Yossi, Zeno and of course Enzo need to find quite a bit of time to match that, and of course obviously TRS are currently ahead in terms of their Belgian time, but they do need to find improvements here at COTA.
Oh, that is interesting. So both teams at their current circuits need to make improvements. Yossi leading the way for TRS. He needs to pull out the slipstreams, I think, for his teammates. As he goes faster. 33 flat, pretty much, for Yossi. That's going to boost their chances.
It's going to match the fastest lap from Lobby 1. But as it currently stands, I mean, Zeno is going to be half a second off one driver, and Enzo is a full second off another, so that's 1.2 seconds. Oh, 1.5, sorry.
It is. I think we are about to see TRS Zeno get slipstream from Yossi, because he's coming up towards the back straight. And there it is, the Ferrari of Yossi just ahead of him. So here we go. Here's the slipstream. We are keeping a good eye on the TRS guys, because they are in the hunt for Premier 1. We will try and get around to most of the other teams as we can, but the hunt for Premier 1 is getting to nail-biting point as we reach 10 minutes left in this session. It's the purple sector 2 for Zeno, as he now makes his way around this tricky, tight final sector circuit of Americas. 2 turns to go. Can he keep it within the lines? He can. There, one last turn. It's looking good. What's it going to be? 133.2.
Enzo needs to gain a second. He's a 10th up in sector 1.
So surely now, if you're Yossi or Zeno, you turn your attentions to helping out Enzo here. That's got to be their priority.
Enzo is currently on a lap, so we'll see what he can do on his own.
Yeah, we've got a lot of the TRS guys currently in the chat. Nail biting, but great times to be a TRS member, fighting it out here to try and get into Premier 1 of their first EML season. Would be a great feat. But QRT are a team that have been around for just over a year now. Great team, good experience, fast drivers. Oh, as he goes wide and he invalidates. That's not that. It would have been good for him to improve his time by himself and a good confidence booster, but that's not going to help his confidence, that. ERT looking good still. They need Nipro to improve his time. He's respectively down in 17th on a 35.3, so he's over 2 seconds off the pace, with his teammates sitting 3rd and 4th. They really need to get Nipro up the board, because currently that time, unfortunately, will be pulling them back a little bit. They still could be in the hunt for that Premier 1 spot. Looking unlikely, but you never know. There's still 7 minutes left in this session. QRT might not make the times they need at Spa, so still all to play for, I feel.
Update on that, QRT Max just did a 42.7, so he actually has set the fastest lap that we've seen tonight in both sessions.
Wow. Huge.
But right now, in terms of a lap time, difference between them is 3/10 in favour of TRS at Belgium, but currently is 1.1 seconds at Kota because Enzo is struggling to get up with his teammates right now.
Yeah, he really is. He's actually... Oh, he was about to give, I believe, slipstream to his teammate Yossi. But Yossi's invalidated. Maybe they're looking, instead of Enzo, they're looking to maybe improve the times of Yossi and Zeno, but how much time can you really find being that high up on the leaderboard and the timesheet at the moment? I'm going to stay on board with ERT Thomas, who's looking to make improvements. Goes wide as well, though, on that penultimate final, last turn, sorry. And he dives into the pits, so that won't be an improvement for ERT Thomas.
And Enzo's about to get himself underway.
He is. Oh, and his teammate is coming to the pits, but Zeno has just come out the pits. So the slipstream will be there. Can he make it count this time? He's got the support in the chat. The TRS boys are here in good numbers giving their support.
Oh, that's a 2.5 10 for the sector gain, so that's a good start for Enzo.
Go on board with Enzo as he gets the slipstream off his teammate Zeno. Nice slipstream, nice, well executed. But he's only three tenths up on his time. It's just not enough yet.
Oh, but he is pushing like mad. He's kept it valid. And so for the final corner to the line, 33.6, we guess half a second, 6 tenths.
Wow. God, it's gonna be very, very tight between them and QRT. What do they do now? What do they do now if you're Jeffing or you're the manager here of TRS? Do you look to get Enzo another improvement, or do you feel that's going to be his best, and you look to maybe improving Zeno or Yossi?
I would probably look at maybe trying to get Yossi or Enzo up by a couple of times or so.
And they are going to look to get Zeno up a couple of attempts.
I'm going to say it now. QRT have improved on their lap times. So now it kind of averages out that the Belgian lap times will be incredibly close to each other. So it's all about if they can match the quota times.
Oh, it's a tough ask. They need Enzo, but I think he's on low fuel, so I don't think he's going to be able to get back out again. Zeno is currently pushing here. Got the slipstream off his teammate. Coming around the final turn, what can he do? How much can he improve? He goes fastest into the 32s. That could be crucial. And now Yossi is going. He's not going to have a slipstream though. There's no one there for him. Oh, he's not. He's on an outlap. He's on an outlap. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. He's on an outlap. Oh, it's going to be really tight.
Is indeed as Enzo has stayed out even though he's on low fuel.
So Enzo is, yeah, as you can see, Enzo is waiting for his teammate. He knows what his job will be to do. Quick word on RDR, Mike. How do you think they've done here?
Well, in the session, currently we've beaten team as 1, so that's the bonus in itself, that in this lobby we have managed to beat one of the teams. Obviously, comparing times with some of the other teams, obviously CPI, unfortunately, it's not looking good for them. Beyond that, there's a driver there that hasn't set a lap time yet.
Oh. Interesting. Oh, Collins backed out. Oh, Colin was just starting a lap and he's just backed out of it. I wonder why he's done that. Alright, there we go, we're finished. ERT, Kieran and Thomas, they are run. One of the drivers coming across the line, Lulu, not going to improve his time. Here comes an RDR driver, aero specialist, although he's invalidated, so that is his session up. We've got a VRT driver of Max VZ Geist, currently sitting in P11, looking to improve. Oh, really pushing the limits on the penultimate corner, nice and tight. That's a good entry onto the last turn. That's 5th place. Very respectable time there for Max Geist. As his teammate Tails pops himself up to 7th. Molly jumps Evans Joshua. We've got a spinner, car mentalist. Colin is still going, but his race is run. Let's turn to Yossi. Oh no, he's lost it.
Absolutely pushing the limits and pushed them too far for Yossi, and I think with that, I think QRT have done it.
I think QRT have. Well, you could really see there he was really giving it everything, wasn't he? Really pushing that. But if it is so, TRS have given it their all here. We don't know for certain. This is just our calculations, but we believe QRT in Lobby 1 have taken that Premier 1 spot. But what a showing from TRS. Brilliant, yeah, course, brilliant showing.
Obviously for TRS and obviously ERT as well, they're pushing them all the way. It seemed like these two teams just couldn't be pulled apart from each other tonight. But for these two teams, they're going to be looking now. They may have not got that Premier 1 spot, but they are looking strong favourites to potentially go ahead and challenge for the Prem 2 title.
Yeah, keep an eye on Premier 2 when we start up next week, because TRS and ERT, that could be some great battles, and that is excluding the other teams that will be in the Lobby 1 that have been up the top.
Oh, Dennis hasn't set a lap time at all.
Wow. CPI been given a lifeline.
Oh, Bundy has just improved on his lap time. DBI Leighton has a marginal improvement, but it's not enough. From what I remember from the first part of the session, it definitely looked like BNR had the pace on CPI, and looks like again BNLR may have the pace on the CPI here at Belgium, so BNLR look to be safe. There was a bit of hope there for CPI, but just wasn't enough on the board, and Bundy is going to be kicking himself, I can assure you of that.
Yeah, that's going to be a big blow for the CPI team, a team that has been a regular in the EML series for, I think, nearly all seasons, so that'll be a big shame. Obviously there'll be the reserve team if they haven't made it, so if a team folds or backs out, they will be the first in line to take said vacant position. So, but there we have it. Those are the qualifying lobbies done. We are just giving you estimates, our calculations. If you do want to see the full results, they will be posted onto the EML Twitter page, which you can go and follow. It's at EML_F1. Give the Twitter page a follow. All the results will be posted there within the coming days. Make sure, again, thank you everyone tuning in. Make sure you do like the stream. Subscribe to the League Racing TV channel so you don't miss any of the season, which starts next week, I believe. Is it next week, Mike? Is that correct?
Let me just quickly get the handy calendar up for us, 2 seconds. Yes, the 11th of January, we start going to round number 1 for Bahrain, and it's going to be a very interesting one, Bahrain, because I know a lot of people don't like it because of the fact that you have no ABS for turn 10, but we'll see how many complaints we'll get about that corner over the next week. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure.
Yeah, and definitely join us for that one. It'll be an explosive start to the season. I can already see it. We're going to have a bunch of fun on there. Mike, thank you for joining me. I know you're not down as a regular co-coms with me this season, but I hope we can link up at some point this season. It's always a joy to have you in the box.
Yeah, right now I'm currently down as, if I'm not racing or needed as a reserve, I'm down to fill in when needed. That's kind of my role at the moment, but maybe at some point during the season I'll be able to jump in.
Yeah, it'd be great to have you back in the box for at least one race, and I think the chat would agree, Mike. So yeah, thank you very much. And we will see everyone next week. I will be back with my co-commentator Ivan. Hopefully he will be here next week for you guys, and we can get season 4 underway as qualifying is done. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you for round 1 next week at Bahrain. Cheers.